Yeah, we're so glad you're here. Oh, we're so glad to be together in you.
All right.
Sounds wonderful.
Public service announcement accomplished.
All right. Check
right.
that one off.
Yep.
How many's ever heard of Emmett Foxe? Okay.
Oh, look at there.
Some of you have? Okay, very good, very good. You know, Emmett Foxe was a powerful thought leader during the Depression era. He had been invited to New York to lead a church during the Depression. And this church would grow to over 5,000 people because he was such a transformative teacher and speaker. And his teachings, many of his teachings are used still to this day in Alcoholics Anonymous. Have you ever heard the idea of to golden key something? You might want to look that up. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Just look it up. How do you golden key something in your life? How do you golden key it? So, some of what we're talking about today are kind of based on some of the things that he talked a lot about. And also we like to throw out various authors so that you can study them a little bit and get familiar with them and learn about them and who they are and how they can assist you in your life. He told a story. He said a certain man was working in his garden, assisted by his little girl, who had watered the lawn with a rubber hose. And suddenly she cried, "Daddy, the water has stopped." The father looked over and, taking in the situation quietly, said, "Well, take your foot off the hose. Take your foot off the hose of your supply." Say it with me, ooh. See, the ultimate cause of many of our challenges and our problematic events is this same primary mistake. We have been pressing our feet in the whole weight of our belief system on the pipeline of life and then complaining because the water doesn't flow. Leah, it must be your fault, right? That my life isn't working. It must be your fault. Or it's them, it's they, it's the government. Ooh, right?
Yeah. You ever heard of self-sabotage? Right? Where you put your foot on your own hose of blessing. I did a talk one time called Unkinking the Hose of Blessing.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where, you have kinks in the hose that keep it from flowing because of things that are not aligned properly and that sort of thing. But, that's kind of different than stepping on the hose, putting the full weight of your beliefs on the hose, because this is the season of Lent, and we've been talking about what? Fasting those things that are not serving us, those ideas and those thought forms that are not serving us well. So a good question to ask ourselves maybe is, what are the belief systems and structures and forms that are actually putting pressure on the flow of life and keeping that pipe, that hose open to flow?
Yeah.
It's a good question to ponder.
Yeah. Isaiah 58:11 says, "And the Lord shall guide you continuously and quench your soul in drought. And you will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring of water, whose waters continuously flow." Does that sound good?
Yeah.
So it's taking the pressure off the garden hose of divine supply. You ever been out trying to water your garden or your grass or whatever, and then there's a kink in the hose, How many know sometimes life gets a little kinky? You got to unkink it, right? You got to, And so the first place we want to look is within ourselves. How can I be my own stumbling block? Now, I didn't say why am I a horrible, bad sinner, right? How many understand there's a difference here? We're not looking at ourselves to judge ourselves or to condemn ourselves or to blame ourselves, but to uncover what's actually going on to be revealed outwardly so that we can see what we need to see. I mean, know that we need eyes to see. A great affirmation is that I have eyes to see what I need to see when I need to see it. Now, sometimes you won't see it until you need to see it. Make sense? It's like I talk to people all the time. They want to know everything all at once.
Don't we all?
Here's the thing. You only need to know what you need to know in the moment that you're in. Take a breath. So what do I need to know right now? What do I need to do right now? Make sense? Because you can only think one thought at a time. You can only pray one prayer at a time. I mean, you can try to think all kinds of thoughts at once, but how's that working for you? Not very well.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that we need to come to terms with is that divine, God, source, spirit, whatever you choose to call the all that is the source of all of our life. It is the source of life. Understanding that there is one presence, one power. There's not an evil dynamic working in your life, leading you off astray. The devil's not making you do anything. There's one presence, one power, and that presence and power is all good, all sufficient. And if you lean into thinking that your supply is coming from something else, it's coming from your job, it's coming from your investments, it's coming from this, it's coming from that, you might be stepping on your hose because your supply is a divine supply. And guess what? It never runs out. Whether it's vitality, health, wisdom, prosperity in monetary form, whatever the case may be, that supply never dries up. It never runs out. The only thing that stops us is when we step on the hose to keep it from flowing. And not only is that true for me, but it's true for everyone. And so it's important to remember and understand that because you live in the flow and you allow divine supply to take care of all your needs and you live an abundant, prosperous life, does not mean that you're keeping someone else from experiencing that. Because we each have the responsibility, the right, and the right to claim that for our own lives.
Yeah.
So that's an important one. That's kind of like at the foundation of everything, realizing that source, God, right there, source is our supply, is our source. So if you refer to God, spirit, whatever as source, that's a constant reminder that, oh yeah, that's my source.
Yeah, it's like we talked about last week. If you're going to run your vacuum cleaner and it's not battery operated, it has to go into an outlet, right? The power supply. It has to have power in some way, shape, or form and other for it to operate. But when I look at the vacuum cleaner and I say, how come Leah's not doing the vacuuming? I'm looking at her as my source to take care of the vacuuming, right?
Yep.
How many know that my arm's not broke? She's told me many times. I know that now.
And neither are your legs.
And my legs aren't broke. And I can plug in. And once I plug into the source, then I have power, right? And you know when you're plugged in because you feel it. You know when you're plugged in because there's a flow, there's an energy there. There's a whoo, ah, oh, right? It's there. The one source, the one force, the one power is flowing through you. See, that's the aliveness inside your body, that divine power, that divine source. So a lot of times we need to break up the routine patterns. You ever get in a pattern, always doing the same thing over and over and getting stuck?
It becomes rote.
It does, yeah. It becomes something that you just do because, well, you've always done it. And so it's important to learn how to pause those patterns and stop and say, oh, wait a minute. Should I continue? I could get into an argument with my significant other. I could, in this moment, get upset and judge somebody. I could blame the universe for all my problems in this moment, or I could reconnect, renew my inner connection with the divine source. And you let yourself feel and renew that spiritual connection on a regular basis. That's what the spiritual practice is. It's a constant renewal of the inner energy of that divine power so that you're constantly allowing it to move through you like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Right?
So how many of you experience salvation on a daily basis? Every hand should be up. It's a every moment you have the opportunity to do something different, to choose a new way, right? So to say that you start complaining about something or blaming God or judging somebody, we all do that.
Yeah. Well, let's explain the word salvation, because it's an old-fashioned word that has come to mean a lot of different things to different people. And we're not here to judge anybody. We're not here to put anybody down. But, if you really look it up and research it, and what does it really say? To be saved is to be whole, to be in a state of well-being, to renew your connection with the divine source.
Right.
So if somebody says, James, are you saved? I say, yes, sir, ma'am, I am. Right? I got it really good. This morning. It's an ongoing renewal process, because human beings, we have to continue to, it's like we become these empty cups. We give out, and then we need to recharge.
Yeah.
Right? Just like your phone. Your phone is like, I can't hear you. I'm losing you. And then you have to plug it back in and let it recharge. It's the same way with your body, with your mind, with your emotions. We need to take those breaks, and that's what a lot of people don't do. They're running on empty, right? They're running on empty, trying to do things that you can't do fully and completely because you're not fully yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, thought is electric. Feelings are magnetic. This is the electromagnetic power that is within you. Your thoughts, that's why they're just constantly coming. They're electric. But feelings are magnetic. It pulls to you. And I believe it might have been Neville Goddard who said that faith is a feeling. Faith is a feeling, okay? Because when you have that feeling that I have it now, and that I am blessed, and that I am grateful, then that magnetizes and brings to you what you need when you need it. Does that sound good? Yeah. So we are electromagnetic beings. And so we want to continually recharge our lives with well-being and wholeness.
So here's another way to take your foot off the hose of supply. Stop thinking about your age being an issue. Your age is not a problem unless you make it one. How many of you have said things like, well, if I were younger, I would do that? You know, it's too late in my life to think about doing that. That would take too long, and I don't have that many years left. Or just the opposite. Well, I would like to do that, but I'm too young. You know, you have to be a certain age to do that. Age is not a qualifier in the spiritual dimensional realm. Age has nothing to do with it. So quit cutting off your supply, or quit diminishing the supply of source by saying, I'm too old for that. It can still, the flow is there. It can still happen to you. You're never too young. You're never too old. Age is just an illusion.
It's an illusion of the mind.
Because trust me, I feel like I'm, well, how about this? Some days you wake up and you feel 20. You're ready to go, full of vim and vigor and energetic, and here I'm going to take on the world. And the next morning you wake up and you're like, God, I feel like I'm 80 years old. I'm just, I creak, I ache, I hurt, right? It's an illusion. It is an illusion.
In Unity, we celebrate people of all ages, right? How many know there's no ageism in Unity?
Right.
Say with me, there's no ageism.
No ageism.
Right? How many know that every age has a special gift? Every age.
Yes.
I remember when I turned 18, there were special gifts. 21.
Yeah.
When I turned 25, 30. There's all kinds of things that are happening physiologically throughout your life and that give you gifts, if you can see it in that way. Mm-hmm. So we want to take our foot off of the garden hose of ageism, right? Don't get too hung up on age, or you're going to miss out on a lot of the beauty and the good and the diversity in the garden of your life, right?
Go buy that trampoline.
That's right.
And now's the time to do it because it's spring.
You didn't know we had a
That's what I
trampoline
heard.
store, did you? See, I'm always the right age. Whatever age that I'm at right now, that's the right age for me right now, because there are certain things that I am to do at that age that I couldn't do at another age, right? So it's important when you're younger to stay open to life. And then when you get older, you want to remain what? Flexible. You need to what? Stretch a little more. Let's say it together. I'm not getting older.
I'm not getting older.
I'm just getting better.
I'm just getting better.
What makes people old is hardened beliefs, right? Mm-hmm. Bitterness, resentment.
Yeah.
Or, you know, the regrets. Oh, I wish I hadn't have done that that was so horrible. No, forget about it. Say it with me, forget about it. Right?
And that inflexibility.
Yeah.
Not being able to come off of the way that you've always done things just because that's the way I've always done it.
I like having friends of all ages.
Yeah.
Right? Because I believe I live in a synchronistic universe where the right and perfect people show up in my life when I need them there. Right? The right and perfect people show up when they're supposed to. And so I don't judge anybody for being too young or too old or too whatever. They're the messenger, the divine messenger that I need right now in my life. So thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for saying what you're supposed to say. Thank you for doing, what you are supposed to do. Yeah. I've met younger people who are already bitter and unhappy. Right? And I've met older people who are bitter and unhappy. Right? It's all about a state of being. State of being. In Unity, we focus on our state of being, not the state of our physicality. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, I know there's some things I'm not going to do that I did when I was 21. You know why? Because I'm a little smarter now. Right? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to jump off that cliff into that. Now, if you want to do it, that's your thing. Okay, we're not here to judge anybody. I am young in spirit. See, I am an infinite spirit. Do you get that? An infinite spirit is constantly renewing itself. Say it with me, woohoo! Woo-hoo! I'm constantly being renewed in my spirit. It doesn't matter what anybody says because I have a couple of wrinkles that they don't have. So what? I mean, that's a good mantra. Somebody says, well, yeah, but you're old. So what? You're this, you're that. So what? Right? I'm young in spirit. So don't judge anybody according to their age. Because, see, that's what the world is doing. The corporations out there, do you know what they want to do? They want to classify everybody. They want to keep everybody in their own age group so they can market to them and turn them into consumers. Say it with me. Oh. Right? But I don't fit. How about you? Do you fit? So our unity community attracts creativity and diversity of all ages. And wisdom is the most important thing of all. It doesn't matter. A 4-year-old can have wisdom. You know how they have wisdom? Because they have the divine power within them. And they can channel that power in that moment. I've heard some 4-year-olds say some very powerful things. Have you? It doesn't matter how old you are. What matters is, are you putting the kink in your hose? Are you stepping on the hose of the flow of your energy, your life? Or are you allowing yourself to express, who am I today? See, every day is a new day. I don't know who I'm going to be today. Maybe I'll be Bob. I don't know. Right? Yeah.
You know, the other thing about 4-year-olds in their behavior is they don't hold on to unforgiveness and resentment. They can have a dust up with their little buddy and 2 minutes later be sharing chocolate chip cookies and they're just fine with one another. They don't hold on to stuff. We could learn a lot from that. We don't have dust-ups and then share chocolate chip cookies 2 minutes later, right? So the ability to have forgiveness, compassion, empathy, reconciliation, these are evidence of this indwelling power that we have. And it begins with myself, doing it for myself. Because holding on to resentment and unforgiveness and all of that is very toxic to my system. And it's definitely got me putting the foot on my hose, right? That toxicity is going to eventually hamper me from being able to connect in to the fullest extent that I want to. It's going to create a blockage. Right?
Yeah.
So it's really important to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Do those things.
Because this inner light that we have, this inner wisdom, this spiritual divine idea, this indwelling spiritual power that we have is a power of radiation. Okay? It radiates. Now, I remember the first time I went to a workshop. And they said, we're going to teach you how to read people's auras and how to see auras. And I go, aura? What's an aura? So I wanted to find out what this was. And so we went. And they taught us how that everything that is alive has this energy field that radiates from within it and radiates around it. Mm-hmm. And when you get close to someone, you can sense their energy field. Right? You can sense that radiation. We all have it. And so when you are in a forgiving state of mind, when you are in a releasing state of mind, then you are radiating that forgiveness into the world. You're radiating that power, that light into the world, that reconciliation. You're making a difference.
Yeah.
Right?
So how many want to see the world healed? How many want to see peace in the world? Where does it begin?
It's on the inside.
Right here, right?
Yep.
Yep, it begins with me.
Because I can't fix the world through my own logical thinking.
Been there, done that, tried it, didn't work.
Logical thinking soon becomes crazy thinking after a while, right? But in my state of being, if I'm a finely tuned instrument of spirit, and spirit is channeling and flowing through me, wow, makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Makes all the difference.
So, one of the Unity 12 powers that we talk about is imagination. And while it's true that I can't fix you, I can, with the use of my imagination, imagine you having a spiritual experience or having the right environment to have a change, to experience something different. I know I've had family members that, there's no giving any advice or communicating, any thoughts about what you might want to consider or try. It's stepping back into that place and just saying, may they encounter the people that will help them. May they, experience a divine moment of grace that can shift them. So we can use our imagination to imagine them in wholeness, right? Imagine that. Why do we want to hold them to a picture of something that doesn't work for them? Let's don't use our imagination that way. Let's use our imagination to form a picture of them in wholeness and happy and thriving and abundant.
Yeah, it's...
Amen?
A woman. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, if you want to practice this, it's easy. Say it with me, it's easy. What you do is you make the commitment this week, beginning right now, because I know it's always now. So let's begin now. And so what am I supposed to do, James? Well, here's all you have to do, is find the peace inside you. And then everybody you meet, offer from inside yourself peace. When you walk up to somebody, say, peace be with you. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. Everybody you meet. Try that for about a week. See how that feels. See, if that doesn't change and transform your thinking and your experiences with other people, because when you're radiating that peace, then you're unlocking the door for peace because you're focusing on it, right? And we get what we focus on. Yeah. So imagination is the portal to spiritual excellence. If you can learn to use your imagination in the right way, wow. It will change your life. Mm-hmm. So peace be with you. Yeah. Peace be with you. And so when I'm thinking of our group, all week I was just thinking of our group, and I was just visualizing everybody at peace and healthy and whole and well, and just could feel the energy just growing and expanding. And you know what? I feel it this morning. Do you feel it this morning? Yeah, it's here. It's in us. So each day I want to think thoughts of peace towards you. You ever have people that you think thoughts that are not peaceful about? Whenever you hear their name, right? And then, well, in that moment, you're stepping on the hose of light and enlightenment and peace and joy. And so what you want to do is you want to use your imagination to see the world covered and enfolded in a warm blanket of love. Right?
Yep.
And this is done through your prayers, through the continuous practice of radiating that divine energy. It's wonderful, isn't it? I mean, know that different people see different worlds. Different people live in different worlds. What we experience is our concept of a thing. That's why no two people see the world the same way. In many cases, different people will see a totally different picture than what you see. You know? I remember standing in front of a waterfall one time, and I was just enraptured, and it was so beautiful, so wonderful. And then the person next to me wasn't you. I said, "Oh, I'm getting wet. I can't believe that stupid waterfall. Why is it doing that? My hair's wet and it's messing up my hair, you know." It's like, and I was sitting there like, whoa, that flow of, woo, man, that's amazing.
You did get that he said that wasn't me.
Yeah.
That's real important. That wasn't me.
See, put another way, we make our world by how we think. We live in a world of thoughts
Yes.
and feelings and emotions.
Yes.
And it follows from this that the world around us reflects back to us our state of being in any given moment.
Yes.
Right?
We all see things differently. We were watching this little show last night, and a investigator was questioning all the people about what they saw this man doing. And the one said, "Oh, he was arguing with another man." And then the next one said, "Well, he was arguing with a woman." And then the next one said, he was laughing. He was laughing with, And it's like no one, not a single one of them had the same story. It was a man, it was a woman. He was laughing, he was upset. We all see the world differently. When you look at colors, no two people will necessarily see those colors the same. We do that all the time. He'll say
sure.
something is blue, and I'll say, "Honey, that's not blue, that's green." Well, that's really blue, So we do that all the time. Yeah, is that blue or green?
And she knows all the shades of blue. I know the primary colors. I'm good at that. That's blue right there. Yes, but it's a dark blue with a little gray and, okay. All right, I got you.
Yeah. But if our thinking is faulty, then the conditions are going to be incorrect too until our thinking is corrected. So it's like with this investigator, questioning all these people, there's some faulty thinking there somewhere. Someone is not right? And until that can be corrected, she's not going to find out what she needs to find out. And it's the same way with us. Our thinking dictates our experience. So if our thinking is faulty, it's going to produce maybe less than desirable experiences and conditions.
Right.
We have to correct the thinking in order to correct the condition or the outcome. It's thinking first and then the outcome.
Yeah.
And a lot of us wait until we see the bad outcome, and then it's like, God doesn't like me. What's this all about, right? Not realizing that our faulty thinking has led to the manifestation.
We're
of that.
stepping on the hose of our
Yes.
good.
Yes.
A lot of folks have problems with anger these days. But the spiritual masters, they teach, do not deny your anger. Do not deny your anger. Channel it. Use it as a force for good. Convert those negative energies into fuel for your purpose and your mission. What can I do rather than what can't I do? It's like the Vatican. Heard of the Vatican? You have a vat of can or a vat of can't. It's up to you. So are you a vat of can or a vat of can't? So ask yourself, how can I use fear, doubt, resentment? How did Emmett Foxe use the Depression era experience for the positive good? How did he do that? By not giving it power. By not giving it power. He did not deny the circumstances, but he chose rather to transcend them. How many know that evil is unreal?
You better explain that one.
Evil is unreal. What do you mean by that, James? Well, never recognize evil as an equal power to good and righteousness, because it's not. And that's what people do. Say, well, you're either good or you're evil. Right? No. Sometimes you're good and sometimes you're not so good. Even though it appears to have power, evil makes a big scene about things. You don't want to give it so much power that it's consuming your thinking. And a lot of people are into that condemnational thinking. How many know that this is a non-condemnational church? Somebody asked you, what denomination is Unity? We're non-condemnational. Right? And so we don't want to give the unreal, because you know what the difference between light and darkness is? There's only darkness because somebody hadn't turned on the light yet. Wow. So we need to turn on the light.
So you're saying it would be fair to say that there is not an oppressive outer force of evil pressing in and doing or causing people to do bad things. Rather, it is faulty thinking of individuals bringing forth evil, if we term it that way, from themselves. Evil. From themselves.
Now, you can create evil if you want to. You can give it power. Say with me, right? Now, sometimes you look at your savings account and you may have a certain amount of funds in there. But it's also true that it can grow and change, right? So it's not really evil. It just is what it is. Say with me, it is what it is. Until it ain't what it ain't. Right? Until you begin to see it in a new way. A new way. That's what this is all about. So instead of, talking about evil and bad and terrible things all the time, because you get into that disaster thinking mind. And I've been there. I've been in that for a while. And it was no fun. And then I realized I don't have to think in that way. That awfulization of everything. Right?
Yeah, and we shared
because it brings you down.
We shared a couple weeks ago a story about, that when you focus on evil, you create, when you believe it's this external thing and you focus on it, you wind up creating that energy around you. And we were involved in a group that, was focused on everybody being possessed and this and that and the other. And we would lay in the bed at night with the sheets pulled up to our, just like, and we felt it because we focused on it. We created it for ourselves. And you know why we created it? The devil
was very real.
We created that.
Because we believed in it.
Yeah. And we created
That's how powerful we are.
From an immaturity.
Yeah.
From spiritual immaturity, or even just, just that not knowing any better.
Yeah. So don't give too much thought, energy, and activity to negativity. The ego is always playing the fear game, right? The ego wants to keep you fearful, to keep you locked in your old belief systems. Make sense? So we're learning how to release those errors in our thinking. A little bit at a time. A little bit at a time. Right? Now sometimes you'll have an enlightened experience and suddenly everything changes. It's like, whoa, wow. You just had a shift. You had a shift of consciousness. And there are other times where you're like, okay, I got a little bit. You know, it's like the ant. You knock down their little homes, what do? They go right back out there and they start, you know. So, we don't want to fight with ourselves and with other people and with life, you know, because that just gives it more power. It just gives it more power. We want to learn how to push out those old thoughts, because if you don't, they will germinate and grow legs.
So if we were to recap a little bit,
Okay.
this morning we're giving you some tools, things to think about, remembering that God, Spirit, divine love, whatever you wish to term it, is your source of good, your supply. Remembering that age, anything like that, don't let that be a factor. Don't let that be a deterrent to your good. Don't let those things stand in the way of you manifesting your good. Remember to do your forgiveness work. Let go of resentments, those bitterness, things that we hold on to. Let go of those things. Try to the best of your ability to get rid of the can't. Stop saying I can't, because you can. Use the gift of your imagination. Imagine a world that works for all. Imagine a world of peace. Imagine a world of harmony. Quit giving fear and evil residence. Don't give it a place to hang out, right? So those are some things to think about this week.
Yeah. Emmett Foxe says the best attitude for a student of truth, a unity student of truth, or whoever, I believe in divine harmony. I believe in divine harmony. I do not believe that there's any power in evil. Sure, it can have an expression. It can do what it does. But I'm not going to make it real. I'm not going to add my power to it, right? Mm-hmm. The truth is true now, not next week or next year. And that is, what is true for me in this moment? What is true for me in this moment? Mm-hmm. And this is how we want to erase those error thoughts, to see that it has no chance to dig itself in, and to learn how to use a light touch of a grown-up spirituality. A light touch. It doesn't have to be so heavy-handed, right? I used to be heavy-handed. Bull in a china shop. I was born in April, Yeah. And I've learned it takes a light touch in dealing with people, in dealing with my life.
Yep.
And the more sensitive I am to myself and to others and to life itself, then the better it works. Wow. Makes sense? Grown-up spirituality. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's take a breath together. We're going to turn down the lights for just a moment.
So this morning's daily word is right on target with what we're talking about. The idea of forgiveness. So let's affirm together, my soft heart expresses love as I forgive. Holding on to hurt caused by someone's words or actions is harmful to mental, physical, and emotional health. If I stew over these negative feelings, it's likely I will feel worse. It's when I'm willing to let go of these troubling emotions that the healing begins. Forgiveness is healing. Realizing the slight may have been unintentional, or the one who hurt me may be unaware of my pain, I feel compassion. I let go by repeating the words, I forgive you, silently to myself, which helps me speak these words aloud when I am able. If I have caused unintentional harm, I ask for forgiveness. Through divine love, I forgive and am forgiven. As I express this love, I mend feelings and open the way to peace and harmony.
Thank you. So I want to take you through a process this morning, if you're up for it. You don't have to participate. You can just listen. That's fine too. But if you'd like to participate, we would love it. Here's one way of resolving a challenge in your life through affirmative prayer. I invite you to get quiet for just a few moments. This is important. A quiet mind is a receptive mind. Don't strain to try to figure things out. Try to figure out what's going on. Why is this happening? What's going on? Don't think about a solution or even to find the right way to think about it. Just be with it for a moment. Just be in the silence. Just be quiet. Remind yourself of that quote. Be still and know that I am God. Be still. And I invite you to set your mind on divinity, on God, on Spirit. Contemplate for a moment the all-loving goodness that is within you, that surrounds you, that is always with you. These truths that you know that Spirit is present everywhere. All power is in God and in you. That you are known and that you are loved as you are. God is good. I am good. And during this stage, it's important not to think about your situation, but keep your attention on God, the source, the Spirit, the love. In other words, don't try to solve your problem directly, but become interested in thinking about the loving nature of divinity. Wow. The beautiful flowers that just show up, seemingly out of nowhere, expressing the color and the beauty of life. The wind that blows upon your face, the sunshine. I am one with nature, and nature is one with me. And you feel yourself now being renewed and recharged and restored. And now claim the thing that you need. What is it? A healing? Or some particular good that you desire? Claim it quietly and confidently, as you would ask for something to which you are entitled. And just let it be for a moment. And then move your state of being into gratitude and appreciation. and thanksgiving for the accomplishment of that thing that you need in your life, right here, right now. As you would if somebody handed it to you as a gift. Thank you. Thank you. Jesus said, when you pray, believe that you would receive it, and you shall have it. It feels good. It's important not to discuss your prayer with anybody because they don't need to know what you need, because only you need it. It's what you need. So just relax and be in the flow, because tension and hurry delay the answer. You ever tried to put a key in a door? And when you're in a hurry, when you're in a rush, it won't fit for whatever reason. But when you stop and you take a breath, and you slowly engage the key in the lock, and you unlock the door and you hear it unlock, click. There it was. This is a gentle acceptance of your good. It is in our quietness and confidence that we are made strong and renewed in our well-being and our wholeness. Let us breathe together. Now I want to imagine someone in your life that you care about, that's been on your heart and your mind. And this gift of peace, say to them now, peace be with you. Peace be with you. We hold space this morning for those that have experienced the fires and the storms of life. We affirm the healing rain, the healing rain. Joy for those that have been low, the downtrodden. Peace be with you now. Peace is yours. Health, wholeness, well-being is yours. We're thankful for our nation and for all the people. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. So now for just a moment, I invite you just to sit in the silence and soak in the good vibes and feelings and whatever you need. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this healing time. Thank you for this unity community. Thank you for the blessing now. We say thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. Whenever you're ready to open your eyes, take a moment to stretch, release, feel alert, awake, feeling good.